Hi. So I had this idea to create a series of videos to post on Facebook and YouTube for people who want to become aware of how to create a balanced lifestyle that includes mind, body, and spirit. So I wrote some notes and I made up like about a plan of about 13 videos, and I had to think about it for a while to see what I wanted to present and how I wanted to present it, because I really like things that are organized. And when I don't have the right information here, I find that I can't reproduce what I had in mind, if that makes sense to you. So it's like we have to have a plan, but once we have a plan, and ideas are great, ideas are like dreams, but dreams don't become reality until we actually act on them. So I have to think about it for a while, or not have to, but I like to, because when I produce videos, I want them to be thoughtful for my viewers and informational. So I want to include some practices you can add into your life to make your life more meaningful. I met a woman, I don't know, I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago, and she said, I don't know, something's missing from my life. And I said, I think you're just missing yourself, because often in our day when we're working in our job that we've been at for a while, and we go home and we make supper for our family, and then maybe we relax for an hour or two, or maybe we go outside and do some yard work, and then we go to bed. That's taken up our entire day, and we haven't given time to ourselves to reflect on our lifestyle, and how, if we want it to change, how are we going to change it? Because we're the only ones who can make the change. For example, this morning I got up. I used to set my alarm for 4:19 to meditate for an hour, then I'd go to the gym while my son was doing his virtual schooling, because that was the only time I could fit the gym in. So after he finished, I had this schedule I could totally recreate, and for me it was amazing. It's like incredible freedom. I don't have to set my alarm anymore. But what does happen is I wake up at 4:19 anyways. Sometimes I just wake up at 4 and I'll meditate for an hour, and I don't even set my timer anymore. So I've I've programmed myself to wake up, and whether I feel like I need to go to sleep afterwards, or I need to, or I want to do things afterwards, I will do that. So I feel it, and feelings are very important in terms of how to live your life to the fullest for yourself. So I'll be talking today about mind, body, and spirit parts of your life. I have a bird over there that's talking, and I heard the bird say, I love that you're doing this. And I wanted to set my camera up in my fairy garden, which is directly over there, but I heard no. So they said, make it a little more beautiful, and then we'll allow you to do it. I'll be talking about how I learned how to listen to the flora and fauna, because I feel there's nothing special about me other than I really like to know things. So if I meet someone and they're doing something I admire, I ask them questions. Like I recently joined a new gym, and I asked the woman who runs the gym, who owns the gym, what made you decide to open a gym, and how did it happen? Did you find that it was something that you always wanted to do, or did it just kind of fall into your lap? And she supplied me with the answers, which I really honored how her path led her to running that gym. And I also realized before I changed gyms that I work really well with women, and when women talk to me at the gym, they ask me, how did you get so lean so fast, and what are you doing to build muscle, or whatever they notice about me and how I work through the issues with my body, because I'm happy with it now. They're the ones who listen. And so I thought, well, if I want to be happy, like mentally, and satisfied mentally, people are going to ask me questions. I really feel I belong working with women, so women can be the best they want to be. So I changed the gym, and I found that I really, really loved working out at that gym. It had all the equipment that I wanted. It was bigger than the last gym. It had nicer showers. It matched the energy of me, my vibration. I really like neat, orderly, tidy, and lots of variety. I really like variety because I find I learn the best with variety. So I'm talking about the mind aspect of my life. So I've always been a thinker, and when I was younger, I never said a word until I went to university and I had to do my training to be a teacher. And when you train to be a teacher, way back when I trained, you have to take a speech test. And if you don't pass the speech test, you have to take a course that teaches you how to speak in front of people, because obviously if you're teaching children, you have to have a voice and you have to have leadership. And hopefully by then, if it wasn't natural, it becomes natural. Not because you're forced to do it, but it's just a lot easier to be a really good teacher if you're confident, you know your subject matter, and you are pretty much like when you walk in the room, people notice, hey, she's in charge, right? So I had a administrator, only one administrator in all the years I taught said to me, and this is so true, if you want to be in control from the moment you walk in that classroom door, you dress like you mean business, you look like you mean business, and you mean business. And you do that for the first month. So this applies to anything. If you decide that you want to apply for a job, or if you're working at a job and you're not too successful, I heard, tell them about going to a used car dealership. So I drove into a used car dealership because there's a vehicle that had been parked there for a while and I liked it. So I drove in there a couple days ago, and there were two gentlemen standing there, and one looked, he was really clean cut, he was wearing dressy casual clothes, and then the other person looked like he had just rolled out of bed. So I looked at the guy who was clean cut and I said, do you work here? And he pointed to the other guy and said, no, he does. And that's how our mind works. We judge. So I was thinking that the person that just looked like he was in his environment and he would sell cars and be good at it was the guy that was clean cut and dressed clean and nice. But the other guy just didn't look like he belonged there. It actually looked like maybe he should be a farmer. And so our appearance always shows people who we are. And people say, oh, well, you shouldn't be judgmental and don't judge a book by a cover, but we do. And so if you are looking to change your life and you are looking to fit in where you want to fit in, you're to dress the part so that you actually feel it, and then people notice what you emote, like what energy you give out, because that is the ticket to success for yourself. People will see that you succeed in that area and they will respect that. So if you don't look like you are the part, then people are going to be like 50-50. They're like, oh, I don't really want to talk to this person, or this person doesn't know what they're doing. And that's how I felt about when I wanted to branch into more the health aspect of my business, which I got a download in November, and Spirit told me, because I do downloads from them in my meditation, said, you're going to do something totally different. I was like, but I love what I do. And they said, no, you're going to expand your business, and so just stay tuned. So I did. So in the new part of the year, they told me I was going to expand into the mind, body, spirit coaching, and specifically the physical, because I had really tapped into what was successful for my physical body, and it showed. Like, if you looked at a picture of me from a year ago or a year and a half ago, I don't look like the same person. But the reason for that is I didn't like who I was. So I looked at myself and I thought, oh my goodness, if I'm going to teach people health courses like Reiki courses and other, I feel there'll be other energetic metaphysical courses coming up for me, and one really cool one I'm going to announce in a bit as soon as I get the place booked. Yay, I'm so excited about it. Working with horses and horses energy. So if I wanted to sell myself, right, because we all do, if we're entrepreneurs, we have our own business, I actually have to look like I'm healthy, because who would come to me for a healing? Who would want a healing from me if I look like I'm a mess? Because I did, and I attribute it to just a lot of not living the lifestyle that my body wanted, right? So our bodies, our mind, body, and our spirit, they all want things that vibrate at the same level as who we really want to be, right? So whenever you do some energy work on yourself, you raise your vibration. Whenever you take a healing course, you raise your vibration. Whenever you meditate, you raise your vibration. And I talk about the pineal gland activation a lot in my videos. That was it's really a combination of several things. Okay, you learn it when you do yoga. So it's like pranic breathing, but you bring your breath from your from from your root chakra up to your pineal gland, and in doing that you raise your awareness from survival mode, which is in the mosquitoes, in the lower three chakras, to up to here. And once you get out of that survival mode, you think differently. So I talk a lot about that, and I'm going to be doing a mind video that follows this one, so that'll be presented tomorrow, and I'm going to give you some techniques that you can work in terms of your mind. So when we do that form of meditation, it helps bring that awareness to here. And then lots of people say, how do I become more intuitive? How do I become more like what you do? And I just say to them, well, meditation is the key. So if you dedicate some time during the day, you have to decide whether morning is best for you, if you can schedule that into your morning, or afternoon is best, or evening is best. So you pick one time a day to start, right, if you haven't meditated before. And then you find a comfortable place. And when I started meditating, I sat on the floor because I thought that's how you had to meditate. I thought you had to sit cross-legged on the floor, hold your hands out like this. But to me, that was uncomfortable. So I'll place my hands down beside me. I won't place them on me. I place them beside me on the outside of my legs when I'm seated in a chair. My feet, I want them to be flat on the floor because I like to feel connection to the building I'm in, or the ground if I'm outside, because I'm meditating outside is fabulous. So we schedule that into our life and make sure you take the same amount of time every day, and you do it the same time every day, because what you're doing is you're programming your mind, right? You're programming your mind to slow down. And then once you slow it down, you can do several things. You can look into any past lives, present part of your life, or future lives, because they're all happening at once, right, in the quantum field. And you can either release what has happened, or you can reprogram your mind the way it's working, because we have those active monkey brains that just like to be busy and planning the future, and if this happens, this happens, this happens. But meditation teaches you to slow down the conscious mind, which is always up here, very active, and it slows it down to about the vibration of the subconscious mind, which is nice and slow. And we do that in hypnosis. When I lead someone in the beginning of my hypnotherapy sessions, I help them slow their mind down. And I had that clothing swap on Friday, and the people who were there, I led them through a past life regression, and I had them choose which life would you like to see. So one of the participants said, I want to see the life where I had the most fun I ever had. So I was like, yeah, nobody has ever asked for that, because in my hypnotherapy sessions, I say, we're not here to just fix things. You can also look at lives where you were the most talented, the most confident, the highest life you've ever had, and now the most fun. So I worked with them to slow down their minds, get them nice and rested, and then led them into seeing or sensing the life where they had the most fun. And it was wonderful, because when they came out of that short session, they were really happy, and they really, really, really liked it. And I thought, that's really neat, because it's something I hadn't tried before, but obviously it was meant to happen. And they were open to it, to receiving the information from their mind, because it is stored in their mind. And that's why I say, when we do regressions, it's one of the most powerful healing methods that there is, or reprogramming methods that there is, because it's all stored in your mind, and the only person who gives you the answer is you. So someone can lead you through it, or sometimes you can look or you can look on YouTube for people to lead you through a past life regression to get into that mode, or you can just learn how to do it yourself. So slow down your mind, get down here nice and low and slow, and you'll feel it. You'll feel your whole cellular existence, your body relax. And sometimes it takes a while to get into that mode. So just remember that for some people it'll happen quickly, and other people who have had programming where people have told them, you can't do that, or that doesn't make any sense, and you believed it, then it takes you a little longer to reprogram yourself. But really, it is all up to you. So like I said, if you make it a practice and you do it every day at the same time, you're actually programming your mind to just do it. And some people say, oh, I hit my snooze button or whatever. Well, that's just because you're craving more sleep. But when you just do it, like alarm goes off, you get out of bed, you go sit in a chair, you do that for however long, after a while you don't even have to set up your alarm. Your mind wakes up and it's looking forward to that, and you just do it. And then your whole, like I do mine in the morning, your whole day is available for you to do whatever you want, to sense and feel what you're meant to do. And I feel if you do that, you'll have more of a sense of gratitude. What's working, in your life, you're so grateful for it, and what's not working, you just let it fall away. Because I will tell you this, once you raise your vibration, the people who vibrate lower than you, they'll just not belong in your space. And it's not it's not a personal slur against you. There's nothing wrong with you. You've just chosen to raise your vibration. And the nice thing is, once you raise your vibration, other people who vibrate there, they will be in your space. So here's an example. I like to go to Safeway for my I just have little quick things I have to buy sometimes. So I ran out of dishwashing liquid, and I needed also some other items. So I went in the aisle where the dishwashing liquid was, and there was a gentleman in there who said to me, I'm looking for this, and my wife gave me this list. And so we kind of started talking about the environment and how important it was to take care of our water system. And he lived on an acreage too, and we talked how we treated our septic tank and what alternatives were to treat your septic tank if you run out of Septobac, which is what we both use. You can also use baking soda, which cleans your tank as well. It's just what it does is it makes bacteria in there good and active, in it cleans it up so it doesn't smell bad. Oh, look, there's Tommy in the background, and then I think I have Shaka on the fence over there. So it was great because we talked about the environment, and then we also talked about working out and how it is a really great way to age, because he's the same age as me. And I said, I don't even know how it got to that, but we started talking about the gyms where we worked out. And I'm coughing. So I'm to talk about my guide, whose name is Trevor. And so this is interesting because this happened to me in a meditation, and it could very well happen to you. So we all have guides. So I found when I was working out in the gym, after a while I was doing the same routine, and I had this voice in my head that was telling me, okay, today we want to change your routine, or I want it, whatever. Why I or we, I can't even remember. I want to change your routine, and this is what you're going to do. So go to this machine, do this many sets and this many reps in each set. And as I went through it, I really enjoyed it, because here I am, I have my own personal trainer, and it's in my head. So about a week ago, I was meditating in the morning, and I heard it was in the afternoon. So sometimes I meditate in the afternoon if my brain feels weird, foggy, or stuck. Just 20 minutes. I don't spend a whole lot of time in the afternoon meditation, just because, I have a busy life, and I'm sure you do too. But if you feel draggy and weird and whatever, and you need to just have a refresher, you just do 20-minute meditation or 15. And when I was doing that meditation, I saw what my trainer guide looked like. And he's been with me for months. So he was really tall. He was maybe 6'4", maybe 6'5". He was, I feel, he was African American or of African descent, so he was dark. He said he was from Colombia. Right, he's with me right now, which is why I started kind of coughing. He wants to talk to you. And he said to me that he revealed himself to me because, I like concrete things. I like to see things, and I see things in my mind, right? And to me, it's just as strong as seeing a physical presence. There's Mr. Tommy Gunn sitting there. My other cat Shaka is over here, and I kind of knew that they would join me. So he revealed himself to me, and he also told me that the kind of body that I wanted was the kind of body he would help me with. So I decided, after working out at the gym for a while, I started bulking up. I was taking the wrong protein powder, and it was whey protein, and it bulked me up way too fast. So I started looking like a man. I don't want to look like a man. So I started getting these really bulky muscles, and one guy who was working on the gym, I saw him looking at me, and I was doing the 21s where you go up like this, and then up like this, and then 7 times up. So 7 times each time with easy bar. And I had, I was all muscly and everything, and I heard him thinking, men don't like women who look like that. And I was like, whatever. But I realized that I didn't want to have a body that looked like that. What I want is a lean kind of runner, yoga-ish body with like muscle definition. So I was following the Sculpted Vegan on Instagram, and she has wonderful advice. And she went live one day on Facebook, and I just happened to catch it. Isn't that interesting? You're meant to see things when you're meant to see them. So I saw this live that she did, and because I joined later. But the nice thing about live on Facebook is they're always there. So if there's any information that you missed and someone went live and you missed it, you can see it there. And on Instagram, I think it disappears after 2 days. So the Instagram lives. So she said, if you want to shred your body, and she just gave free information. She said, calculate your macros, and then she gave the calculations for that. And she said, you take this amount of protein, you use, cruciferous vegetables for your carbohydrate, because they are carbs. So it actually takes your body more energy to process those carbs than the energy that's present in them. So the amount of calories you expend to process them with your body is higher than what the carbs are in cruciferous vegetables. And then she said to cut out fats. So I did that, and I'm telling you that in 1 week I dropped 10 pounds, and that because I had hit this plateau and nothing was working and my body was kind of sore. And she also said on there that if you cut out wheat, like gluten from wheat, with the exception of vital wheat gluten, which you use to make seitan, because that doesn't cause inflammation, and if you cut out animal proteins, you won't have inflammation anymore. And she was right for me. Okay, that was just for me. It doesn't happen for everyone because everybody's body is different, right? So I tried that, and I'm telling you, like, the weight dropped off like that. And I was shocked because I weigh myself once a week, and I was like, whoa, what the heck happened? So this was working for me, and this is what I want to tell you about your body. Your body will tell you what is working and what is not. So if you're in a program where you're exercising and you don't make it there on time, and when you're there you don't really enjoy yourself, your body is telling you that it doesn't like it, and your mind is telling you it doesn't want to be there, and your spirit is like, wah, wah. So if you start a program, like when I started that weight training program, oh my goodness, I was so in love with the whole process. And I was excited, and I knew that I had done it in a different life, because I had a life as like a big dude lifter, and as a woman I was like a long distance runner. So those two things came back in my cellular memory, my muscle memory, because I love to run. I love to run on a treadmill. I play little games on the treadmill. Like, here's a treadmill game. If you want to increase your speed and your strength, so you do the strength training, right, with weights, and you want to increase your speed on the treadmill, I do a 2-minute walk, and then I bump it up to a comfortable run. So something that's comfortable with my body, and I'll run it for like 2 minutes. And then I drop it down to my walk again, and then I bump it up to my run. But I press it up like 0.1 level higher. So I do that every time I increase it. And I get to the point where I'm running fast, I can handle it, but I'm almost short of breath. Okay, and then once I'm done, I'll go down that as well. Like, I'll go, if I start at 5, I'll go 5.1 or whatever. Now I can start at 5.5, and then I go increase it all the way to, I think I went to like 6.9. No, I went to 7 the last time I did the interval thing, because I want to see what my body can do, and I want to see that it's comfortable, but I also want to see that it's pushing me. And I know that if I run past 20 minutes, which is what the Sculpted Vegan Kim Campbell said, she said, if you do cardio and you want to lose fat, you do cardio in the morning, then you do cardio later on in the day. But you have to be careful how much cardio you do, because if you overdo your cardio, you're going to burn muscle, and that's with high intensity training, high intensity interval training. You're going to burn muscle, and it happened to me. And like all kinds of weird stuff started happening to me because I was overdoing it on the cardio. So I cut it back to 20 minutes. Like, that's it. And that's all I need to maintain like a lean body. I also added something to my regimen. Yesterday was the second time I did it. I did an entire day of a water fast. So I just drink warm water all day, and I meditate. And I was able to do things like I went out and bought some groceries, and I went and dropped off the clothing from the clothing swap that wasn't swapped at our thrift center. and I was able to come home and mow the lawn. And the great thing is I mowed the lawn. It took me about an hour with my riding mower because I have about an acre of lawn to mow. And then I went in and it just poured rain. It was great. Like the timing was perfect. But what I noticed about when I do this full day water fast is that the next day when I wake up, my brain is more clear, like and more insightful, and my heel on my left foot has been hurting a little bit, which I know there's just a toxic buildup in there. So I'll do a saltwater foot bath for half an hour to an hour, and it'll drain that out. It'll help remove the impurities out of your feet because we store, well, all our nerve endings are in our feet. That's why reflexology is really good to do if you get that done to you, like maybe once a week, to remove those toxins, to help that flow, that energy flow. Meditation is good. You can, release the energy through your feet. Aaron Doughty does that in his meditations. He starts you off here and moves through your body and then releasing any unwanted energy in your feet. So he has meditations on YouTube that are phenomenal. I suggest you go on and check those out. There's one really cool one you have to try. It's to meet your higher self. I love it because you get to see who you really are. Like your higher self is the energy that's up there all the time, right? So I found that from the first day I did the water fast, and then the next day, the pain in my heel was like almost removed. And the same thing happened from yesterday's too. And the second time was easier. Like the first time I thought, oh my God, I'm going to die. I feel so fatigued and everything, because it was just the idea that I couldn't eat. But I used to do this a long time ago after I went to India and I got really, really sick there, just like for a day. But the nice thing after I got rid of all that, whatever was in my body, it must have been toxic, was I ate something that was contaminated. And then after that, I felt incredibly light. Like I felt really good. My intestinal tract was really clean. I spent a lot of time on the toilet, I'm not gonna lie, but I felt good. So after that, I actually did that 1 day a week of fasting because I found that it really made me feel good and clean and energetic, and just, I don't know, it clears whatever's going on in your head. It just like seems to clear that all away. So I did that yesterday and I'm really grateful. And I do it on a day where I don't have like a big schedule. Like if I do readings or something like that, I find my body really needs the food for thought, and the fats especially, because that's really good for your brain, right? And I have recommended on my website for people to read that book, Genius Foods, because the gentleman who wrote it, he wrote that book because his mom was experiencing dementia, and he wanted to know how that can be healed through natural methods like eating. Like a lot of people think that, oh, food is not a big deal. Well, actually it is. It's the whole reason why your body is the way it is. It's food, environment, thoughts, feelings, emotions, all that. So if you feed yourself live, healthy food that vibrates high, you will create the same kind of cells in your body, right? And if you exercise your body, like what I'm talking about in my videos, your body will be happier. It'll be leaner, it'll be more flexible, and you'll actually like yourself better. So, I want with this video series for people to think about what kind of lifestyle do they have and how do they want to recreate themselves so they can be healthier, happier, more fit, and more aware. Because when I talk about the mind and the spirit portion, I'm going to be talking about some meditations you can try to, or not try, do, to release things that are no longer working in your life, and how to manifest the feelings, the emotions, the lifestyle that you want, because we really do create how we're living. And there's an idea, there's a philosophy that, or a belief, that we actually created everything before we were born. And I believe when we have that moment when we're going to die, we actually have several different exit points. So if we learn the lesson we are supposed to learn in this life, we allow ourselves to leave. And if we leave before we have learned our lesson, we bring that lesson into our next life, and it just like we have like a longer line of luggage to deal with. And I've also talked about how past life regression hypnotherapy can help you, sessions can help you release those lessons that you didn't learn, that you died before you learned them, and so that you don't have to learn all those lessons throughout your life. You can release them and release them. So you could book a session with someone like me, or you can find video on YouTube that will lead you through it. You can also buy them. Denise Linn, she has her albums on iTunes, and I believe she doesn't have them on Google Play yet. Maybe that's coming. I heard it is, because some people wanted to buy it on there, they couldn't. So, and of course you can buy the CD, but I think, oh my goodness, who uses CDs anymore? So you can use those. So there's different ways for you to release those lessons that you've never learned, because they hold you back. And I've been doing this year, I've done a lot of karmic work on myself, and I find that my life is more peaceful. My friends have changed so that I feel like they vibrate where I do, and we have the most meaningful conversations, and I'm so grateful for that, because that is the life that I want. I want to be able to talk about ideas, and people don't look at me like, where did you get that idea from? That's pretty out there, that doesn't exist. Because I used to be around people like that, but I quit going to those places where people just kind of looked at me like I had, I was like not normal, because there's no such thing as normal. There's a joke. Normal is a setting on your washing machine. And so, when you decide what kind of person you want to be, people who are meant to help you will show up in your life. And even like when I log onto Facebook, like, oh my goodness, yesterday I had all these sponsored ads that were showing me that this special idea that I have to develop is on the way to me. And these are people who've actually created these establishments, like the one I want to, because I think it's going to be fabulous. So that's my first video of my Mind, Body, Spirit program, and I hope you enjoyed watching them. I will do my best to post one every day, but if I don't, just know that it's on the way. Like, I got really busy on Friday, and I didn't end up having the time to set up the video that I wanted, so I do take that as a sign that, just leave it until you have that feeling, right? And that's important for us to listen to. The way we live our lives, we have to feel it, because when we feel it, we know that we're creating from a place of love, passion, and not fear, because fear is stress, right? And fear is anxiety, and fear is like, oh my God, I can't do this or whatever. So you have to wait for the right feeling to come in. So thanks again for watching.